Here's a story for you. There's a global pandemic, a coronavirus, people self-quarantining, trying their best not to get sick. Does this sound familiar? What if I told you this was the plot of a novel that our next guest started writing 7 years ago? Can you believe that? Saleema Nawaz was writing the book. It's called Songs for the End of the World. This started long before COVID-19. It was slated for a summer release and still is, but you can buy the ebook version now. Saleema is joining us from Montreal this morning to share how this all started. My goodness, this is sort of unbelievable, isn't it?
It's completely unbelievable, yeah.
You've been working on this novel for 7 years. You couldn't possibly have known what the world was going to be like when it was time to publish. So tell me a little bit about how you were feeling seeing the news unfolding and knowing some of the similar parallels in your book.
It was completely unreal. At first, it was really hard to process that it was really happening. I think I felt a bit numb seeing the news. And then there's this extra level of weirdness in that in the novel, there's a character who is a writer who has written a novel about a pandemic that almost seems as if it's coming true. So it's like meta levels of weirdness upon weirdness.
Let's talk about the plot. There's a pandemic. People are getting sick. It's a coronavirus. How did you come up with the idea in the first place?
Well, I noticed that there's this trope in disaster movies and dystopian fiction of society falling apart in a crisis. There's something bad happens, and then suddenly everyone turns on one another. There's rioting, there's chaos, and I just didn't think that was true. But I thought, what role does that play on our imaginations? What if there's a real disaster and everything we think about disasters is that society is going to crumble? So I wanted to kind of write against that and explore those post-apocalyptic ideas, but still, clinging to my belief that people in a crisis still behave with goodwill and social responsibility.
Which is amazing, because those are sort of the amazing moments that we're seeing living through this right now. And running through the whole narrative is this overriding theme of connection and the power of human connection in your book. How important is that in this novel?
It's absolutely at the heart of it. I mean, it's about a handful of characters who are all connected in some way as they're living through these opening weeks and months of a crisis. And the novel keeps coming back to that sense of what is it that's going to get us through this kind of crisis? And it's cooperation. It's coming together as a community, as a society, as a planet.
And in your novel, characters are quarantining in different ways, whether it's on a boat or in an apartment or in a cabin. Did writing about how people were reacting help you prepare for real life?
In some ways, no, because I think no matter how much you know something intellectually or you've imagined it or written about it, you can't fully prepare for that experience of living through something like this, which is really profoundly uncertain and emotional. But in another way, yes, because through the research I did, I know humanity has faced this before. We've come through it before. And I really do trust in the hopeful message of the book that we will get through it together.
So I have to ask you, how does the book end?
Well, it's a hopeful book, so I will say that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's an unbelievable story. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
The book is called Songs for the End of the World.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.